Good morning and happy Easter. And I thought today I would try and do some cooking together. I do have some stuff out already. We're going to do banana cream pie, which is similar, very similar to the chocolate cream pie. Super simple recipes, things you can throw together. It doesn't have to be complicated. And last night I already made the scalloped potatoes, so those are done. We're going to get the ham ready. We're going to prep the vegetables. Let's see what else. And we're going to make some Rice Krispie treats and pop some of the slice and bake cookies with already sliced into the oven because we're not looking to kill ourselves today. Okay, but we do want everybody to come and enjoy and have a good time. Oh, and I have my bunny cake. Maybe we'll decorate that together. All right, that's what this Easter grass is all about. So that's going to be on the base of the cake plate. At any rate, let's go ahead and get ready. I already made the whipped cream, so that's done. The flowers, I normally don't have flowers. These came from my sister's garden. Absolutely beautiful roses. She's doing a great job with her roses. But we made the whipped cream. I didn't feel like I needed to do that on camera with you because we did that for St. Patrick's Day. So you have the idea on how to do that. So that's just ready. And I think what I'll do, because I just did it, I'm going to go ahead. Good stuff. You can sweeten your whipped cream as much as you want to. I feel like everything else has enough sweetener in it that I don't need to do that. I don't want anything to be overly sweet. So I'm just going to pop this in the refrigerator to keep it cold until we're absolutely ready for it. Oh, I dyed my Easter eggs last night too. So we also have to make deviled eggs today, so we're going to leave those out so they can come up to room temperature, or at least be a little bit warmer to work with. Okay, let's get this done. The sugar, what? We're doing sugar-free. You don't have to do sugar-free if you don't need or want to. But the banana cream sugar-free pudding. All right, I had one that's open, so I'm going to use the one that's open and the other two. And why would I have one that's open? Because when I use a box cake, I will use pudding to add moisture back into it. So I made a cake at some point and used the pudding because I probably wanted to make like a banana cake. So I used the ripe bananas and some banana pudding when I made that cake. I don't have a very big kitchen, so you'll see everything is pretty much within arm's reach for me. Would I like a bigger kitchen? I'd like it laid out differently. I think size-wise it's okay. I think a different layout would be better. You guys keep watching, keep commenting, keep sharing, and you can help me raise the funds to get a new kitchen. That'll be awesome. All right. I know that paper is probably crinkly really loud for you because these are some good microphones. Okay. So I've got all that done. And I just realized I have my headset in still. So you see something green in my ears, and that's what that is. Let me get that out. I don't know where the little case is for it. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to put them in this little heart dish. That way I don't have to worry about it. And we're back. Okay, so the whisk and the milk. I'm pretty confident I'm going to need all this milk and probably more. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump that in there. And get to whisking. So what are you doing today? Anything fun, anything interesting, taking it easy. Should get up and do a sunrise service this morning. Need more milk, I'm sure. Get that out and ready. And this banana cream pie, I know in another video I had told you, this recipe came out of a Pampered Chef cookbook, and it was a kid's cookbook. When my son was little, we would cook together, and I'm a Pampered Chef fanatic. I even sold it for a while, just didn't go really well for me, but I know a lot of people make a hell of a living at it, and that's great. Just wasn't one that I made a good living at. So I didn't continue on that path. But anyway, it was from their kids' cookbook. So we did need to add some more milk to it because it's just too thick. And now I'm splashing all over the place. And it's just so simple and so easy. Now remember from the chocolate cream pie, the French silk pie, same principle, exact same principle, okay? We don't want this to be too thin because we're going to add that whipped cream into it. Oh, my arms feel like they're getting a workout. My sister worked me out, and now this is going to work me out. What did I just do? I put it over here. I don't know, I'm a little bit nutty. I like to have clean spaces when I work. I wouldn't even start to cook until I had everything clean. And that is a me thing. And so far this morning, let's see, it is 10 o'clock, roughly, 10:15. And I kind of slept in. All right, so there's our consistency. You can see, not too thick, not too thin. I'm going to taste, because gotta taste. Good. Get our whipped cream out. I can put the milk away because I'm not going to use it right now for this, so that's okay. That in there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, add that whipped cream in, and fold. Okay, so we're trying to keep the air and everything. That's why we fold. So I was starting to tell you about my morning. I had got to kind of sleep in, didn't get up until about 7:30, and we kind of hit the ground running. I got everything together to wash PR because she was a dirty bird. We went to the park yesterday and did a little barbecue, and there was a softball game for my husband's group, and it's all dirt here. There's not a lot of grass. So PR was in the dirt. Oh my God, was she in the dirt? And it was a little warm, so she was like digging in the dirt to make like the cooler earth is underneath the upper layer. So I guess instinctively she knows that, and she was digging, trying to get to her a little cooler spot for herself. And that was even under the chair, so it's not like she wasn't offered shade. And so she was just filthy. I didn't even want her in the house yesterday the way she was, but okay. How are we doing on this? I'm gonna wash my hands. I think I would like just a little more whipped cream in that. So she got a bath this morning, and in my Thrive order that I unboxed with you, I had gotten those samples. I don't know if you recall that. One of this, well, it was only one sample and there were some coupons. But I got this sample for the Murray's soap, dog soap. So I used that on her today. Oh, I really like it. I am going to look for that. Maybe it's Murphy. Is it Murphy or Murray? Oh, anyway, very good stuff. Definitely recommend if your dog doesn't have skin issues or anything. The smell was nice. It left her coat feeling really good, even right after washing. So that was great. So washed her, dried her, and then brushed her for a long time and cleaned out her ears. So put her spring collar on her so she is ready to roll. And Easter Bunny brought her a little toy. It's been waiting for her. So, all right, we are moving on. Our pie filling is good. Bananas. Yes, I did it backwards, following the monkeys. All right. This is a slicer. This is a Tupperware fruit slicer. I'll just set that there. So, and this is easy to clean if you have a Tupperware rep or you want to order it online. Recommend it. It's really good. But you may have other fruit slicers. Fruit slicer, egg slicer, same. Okay, you can do eggs in it. If you have the metal one that just kind of fold, you know, the strings fold down, you can slice your strawberries with that, your bananas. It's not just for eggs. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Anyway, this is how this one works. And then this even comes off, so it's really easy for cleaning. This little metal piece pops out. Well, it's plastic with metal framing. So that pops out of that. So you can clean it easily. I recommend it. It's been a really good, sturdy slicer for me. And it's notched, so you cannot put it in wrong. So just gonna break off the banana in the sizes that'll fit in there. And we now have perfect little slices. And what we're gonna do, these are the pre-made graham cracker crusts. So all we're gonna do is line the bottom and the sides of the pan with the banana slices. So after PR got her wash, I took all of her bedding. Oh, I also took the comforter cover off of our bed and got that washed. Since she was getting a bath, I can wash the linens. So I washed the comforter cover and her sheet, because she has a sheet that goes on the bed over the comforter so the comforter doesn't get as dirty. Ask me why I bother doing it. I have no idea, because she never sleeps on it, but I keep doing it. So put those in the wash, and they came out of the wash, and I put the comforter cover back on the bed. So the bed's fully made now, and got another load in. I've got all her blankets in there. So she has her bed, and there's a blanket on her bed, and then the spot that she likes to sleep on or sit on the couch, I put a blanket there as well. So I took both those off. That's what you hear in the background. Oh. So just kind of spreading these out on the bottom of this. And then we're going to come up the sides. I was very grateful that the grocery was open today, because I did forget the bananas, and Jeff went out this morning and picked up bananas while I took care of the bedding. Okay, that's one. Let's do another one. So after I made the bed, did the laundry, straightened up a little bit just so I had a clearer counter space to work with and film for you guys. And then got to cooking, getting to cooking. And I was thinking about it, because a lot of you that watch are friends of ours, which I'm so grateful that you're supporting me in this way. But you've been to dinners at the house, and this is kind of that behind the scenes look at how it all comes together. All right, so, and then what I'm going to do, because it will be the same process for both pies, is I'm not going to make the other pie while you're on camera with me. I will do that one off camera. But in the meantime, I'm going to check the audio because the last meal that I made had no audio, which you probably heard me complain about. All right, so just spreading the banana all on the bottom and up the sides of the crust. And then this little Pampered Chef, not sponsored, but everything. This is Pampered Chef, this spatula. It's their scoop and spatula, so it's got a little, it's indented, so almost like a spoon, and the rubber spatula. But this little shaker has this plastic lid on it, and then the mesh screen top on top of it. So I've made my own sugar-free cinnamon sugar using monk fruit and cinnamon. And all we're going to do is sprinkle a little bit of that on top of the bananas. The dryer stopped. That means her stuff should be dry. And then we're going to take our cream pie mixture and pop that in there. All right. Use about half of it. I don't want to have a skimpy pie and a full pie. And then on top of this, we still have some whipped cream left over, so I can later decorate with some whipped cream on top. And you most certainly could do things like vanilla wafers on top to make it all kinds of pretty. I will probably add some sliced bananas. Now, because bananas, Rose, they turn brown. How are you going to do that? We're going to go ahead and when we slice the bananas for the top, sprinkle just a little bit of lemon juice on them. And then that will take care of that. Now, this does not need to be perfect on top because we're going to put the whipped cream on top and we're going to put the bananas on top, and it's going to be pretty anyway. And they're going to cut into it. And the bunny cake will be prettier anyway. So, it's good. I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm going to make the other one. I'm going to check the audio. I'll check the audio first because if the audio isn't on that one, I'm going to make the second one for you. All right. So I will see you back very soon. All righty. Got the banana cream pies in the refrigerator outside, so they are done. I put the whipped cream in a smaller container, washed everything up, and put stuff away. You hear PR in the background. She's yapping. She wants to go for a WALK, and it's just not going to happen. I have too much to do. So, you know, we'll see how tonight goes. I took the hams out of the refrigerator. They're over here. I took chicken out of the freezer. I forgot we got to make chicken still too. So, but since I'm going to need the oven so much, and I'm not going to be able to get anything else in there really once I get the meats going, I'm going to go ahead and make the crescent rolls. So just good old Pillsbury crescent rolls. You can use the store brand. I do both, and they have no difference in taste in my opinion. My baking sheets, we're going to be doing a lot of them. So I have big baking sheets. I like to use parchment paper because I don't want to have to wash these things. And I can throw this parchment away. And yes, you crumple it up into a ball so that it doesn't roll up on you. And I can just flatten that back out. And there we be. All right. I already preheated the oven as per the directions, 375. Now these are the grands, the larger ones. Knock it on the counter. Don't be afraid of it. Unroll them. So previous holiday meals, when I was in Florida, the grandkids would want to help cook. So I would always put them on duty for doing the crescent rolls or whatever the breads were. I mean, they did plenty other things, but it was always their thing to do. And you always start at the wide end of the triangle and just roll it up, and then the little tip side down, and give them their crescent shape by just giving them a little bend. And the oven just came up temperature, so that's ready. And I could tell you about yesterday, because if you've been following on other videos, you know yesterday was a jam-packed day for me. We had the gentleman here to do the rebar in the pool, so that's done, and it really is starting to look like a pool instead of a hole in the ground. So that's kind of cool. And we had the event for Jeff's group that was going to run from 10 to 4. And it was a barbecue and softball game. And one of the gentlemen that was going to be handling a fair amount of stuff had an emergency at his house that he had to take care of. So he reached out to Jeff very early in the morning. And Jeff, of course, said, sure, no problem. So Jeff ran to the grocery, picked up the food that he was supposed to get, got to the site early. We put tables and stuff in the car just in case they needed them. And then we kind of did a little divide and conquer. Jeff went on with that. Let me grab some more crescent rolls. So Jeff went on to take care of that. And there were people there to take stuff out of the car for him, so he didn't have to worry about lifting. And I stayed home trying to get everything else together and fairly ready, and getting a couple of chores done. And then the guy for the rebar came, so that was awesome. He came before I left, so I got to see that, and I captured some of that on video, and I have posted that already. And then went to Veterans Park and did the softball game and barbecue thing. And we got there and a lot more people were coming than they expected. So I ran back to the grocery and got some more hamburger meat and buns and stuff so that we had plenty for everybody. And watched them play softball, which was a lot of fun. And wore Knicks jerseys. Oh, that was good. It was nice. And then what else did I do after that? Well, that was supposed to run 10 to 4. I left at 3 because I had event number 2 starting at 5 o'clock, and I needed to shower, do my hair, change. Event number 2 was a concert, is what they billed it as, for an organization called Shine. And what they do, it's a girls empowerment organization, and they put on a camp. They put on day camps and a summer camp for girls, and they will teach them, you know, some starting very basic life skills, because sometimes we just don't get that at home. And then they will also, I was listening to them talk, and they also will, you know, take them on camp and teach them how to do things. You know, teach them interview skills, stuff like that. Help them kind of find their way. And then when they, and that's, I think they said 7 to 18. I can't remember what age they started at. But then after that, they hire them. Once they hit 18, if they are fit for whatever they've got going on, bless you, they will hire them, which I thought was really cool. So they'll have a job too. I'm sure it's not meant to be their forever job, but definitely puts them in a workplace setting and gives them skills. So it's a worthy organization. And what the concert was one of those string quartets. There was 3 violins and a cello, and they did modern songs and explained, before the songs were played, how they were, how they related to being female empowering. So that was nice. And then after that, Megan Jones, who that name may sound familiar to you, she is one of the yoga instructors here in town. And she's kind of all over the place. She does a lot everywhere. And it's not just yoga. She does, put that behind me. She does pole dancing. She does the aerial stuff. She's amazing. Super strong. Her name is Megan Jones. And if you want to check her out and just see all the cool stuff that she does have not YouTube, but a Facebook page, and she's Megan Jones. And so you could check out, her stuff. And she teaches various places in Bisbee and here in Sierra Vista, so she has her schedule up there as well. She's my power yoga teacher. And that woman will pack it in. Holy cow. She had 18 people in class the other night. I'm hard pressed to get 2 to show up, and she's got 18. Good for her. That's just amazing. She's been in the community for quite some time, so she is well known. I'm still the newbie, and that's okay. I also teach a different kind of yoga than she does. Could I teach a vinyasa? Yes, but in my heart, I really believe that we need to slow down. So I teach a slow flow. I teach gentle beginners. I teach a yin class. And there are plenty of people that teach faster paced classes, and that's probably where they're going, and that's okay. We do need to learn to slow down though. And that's part of what yoga can teach you when you're ready. Not everybody's ready to take that look inside and slow it down. Anyway, I'm back to that Shine event. So after the string quartet, Megan was doing one of the aerial exhibitions. So unfortunately, I could not stay because event number 3 was starting at my studio, and I definitely needed to be at my studio for my event. We had our sound bath last night, and that went very well. Carrie of Crystal Lotus Blessings did an amazing job. She does have YouTube and Facebook and a website, so you could, if you are interested in sound baths, check her out. She does post stuff, and I think she does lives too. I think she's on TikTok as well, because she's going to look at possibly live streaming the sound bath on the 25th for the Day of Giving event that I'm doing on TikTok, and then asking people if they want to donate to go ahead and make a donation, and then she'll get that to Peach's Pantry. So I was back to my studio by 7. I left there at 7 o'clock, and I was back to the studio by 7:20, changed out of my fancy party clothes into my yoga clothes, and then people started coming for the sound bath. And we had the sound bath, and that didn't stop until, the sound bath stopped about 9 o'clock, and then by the time everything got put away and everybody moseyed on out, it was like 9:30. So that was a very full day. Then I came home and changed and made the scalloped potatoes and dyed the Easter eggs. And then I went to bed. So that was my very full day yesterday. And we're almost done. This is my last roll of crescents. And you can see it's not like it's a big effort thing. It just takes a bit of time, and that's okay. I cook for people. It's my way of showing you I love you. One of the ways. Everybody's got love languages. I'm gifts and acts of service. Both ways, to receive and to give. What's your love language? You can put that in the comments. We can start that conversation. Because it is an interesting conversation, you know, how we connect with people. It can be through those love languages. Just going to spread these out. They don't need to be in there that tight. All right, oven is at temperature. We're going to go ahead, pop these babies in there. Lower this top rack. Jeans I have on today are, you watched my unpackaging, what I get in the mail this time videos, the jeans by Flamingals. They fit really well and they're super easy to move in and you can do all the things. So have those, the ones with the little drawstring tie. And then I just have on a little white crop from Target and my Keds, just plain white Keds. And then this is my Easter apron. You can see the bunnies and carrots and everything on it. And that'd be that. Okay, present rolls are in the oven. I make myself a list. When I have a big dinner going on, I make myself a list so I don't forget anything. That is not to say that there have not been plenty of times that I have left something in the refrigerator and not gotten it out, even though it was already made. So there's me being tragically human again. Just getting a pen so I can kind of check things off. Did the scalloped potatoes, did the crescent rolls, the ham's out. Got corn, broccoli, carrots, deviled eggs, cookies, Rice Krispie treats. Let's get those cookies going because that's going to be another super simple, easy thing. I still have another rack in there I can utilize. And I have one more big cookie sheet right here that we can do. These two pans are the scalloped potatoes. Cookies are outside. I will be right back with those cookies. So you can hang out. It won't seem like long at all. Oh, this remote doesn't want to work. Okay, I'll be back. Don't worry. All right, we're back. Pillsbury, again, ready bake. Make these more for the kids. Let's see. We will, of course, have to keep an eye on these because these are going to want to bake at 350 and those are in at 475. Putting it all in together. I'm going to pay attention. And everything's going to be okay. And this has got all the work done for me, so that makes it even easier. Oh, they're cute. Super cute. And it was a box of 20 cookies. I'm thinking, well, in the commissary I got them, and they were like $2.79. So I'm just going to show you. They have little bunnies made into them. I saw on a video how this is done. I don't know that it's my skill set to be that patient to do that, but Super cute. Bunny's even got like a little flop ear. I already told you about my morning. So, and then here we are. My upcoming week. I need to check my calendar. I know that Tuesday I have waxing and a facial treatment. And what else do I have next week? Not sure. Week after that, my sister's going out of town, so I'll be at her house. We'll have videos from the country, the desert country. All right, cookies are on. See how easy that was. And cookies are going in. There we go. Also, there's so much in there cooking, even though that temperature is at what is it? I think it was supposed to be 425. Right now, because there's so much in there, the temperature automatically drops. So it'll come back up to temperature. We just have to keep an eye on it. Our pretty Easter eggs. Let's get to cracking. All right. Let me just get this bowl from here. Put the shells in. Now, last night, funny story, I have Easter stuff, right? Anytime I buy the eggs, I will, oh, Missy's right. I had my sister do the eggs. I don't know if you remember me telling you that. And she bought an egg steamer, and did you see how easy that one came off? It's pretty crazy. Okay, let's hope they all go that way. Knock wood for me. Peeling eggs, not my fave. So anyway, she bought that egg steamer and she dyed the eggs. Or she hard-boiled the eggs for me. What I was saying though is I save my Easter egg dyeing stuff. So I have the little cups, and that way I don't have to try and use my own bowls and stuff. And one of the cups that I had, and it wasn't even one of the ones that was saved, it was one of the new ones, had a small leak in it, like a pinhole leak, which I did not know, and had pink Easter egg dye on my counter, and it didn't want to come off at first, and I was a little bit worried, but I got my soft scrub with bleach, scrubbed it, and it came up, so all's well that ended well. And these are really vibrant colors, and what I did is I ended up with 2 dye kits. So I put 2 color pellets in each cup, so they actually came up nice. Why do I dye Easter eggs? I do it for me, nobody else. And you should do the things that bring you some sort of joy. Doesn't necessarily bring me joy to actually dye them, but I love to see the pretty colored eggs. So, and when I dye my eggs, I will intentionally crack them a little bit before I put them in, so they get almost this marbled effect. And this one looks kind of speckled too. So it's pretty on the tray. So that is what I do when I will dye my Easter eggs. And I'm going to have funky colored fingers. And since this is not crazy exciting, I'm going to go ahead and finish peeling these off camera. This one's not coming off as easy. Maybe run them under the cold water as I do it, then they'll come off maybe a little bit better, easier. And then I'll get back with you when we do the centers, do the insides. Alrighty, we're back. Got everything peeled. I'm going to, so pretty, all the colors, love it. But I'm going to save these for my sister, thinking she might want them for her roses. because I know that some people, it's supposed to be good for them, put the eggshells in your roses. So I'm going to save those for her. If she wants them, great. If not, I'll throw them away after the fact. But I won't be digging them out of the trash, so we'll go ahead and do that. While I was off camera, after I finished all of the peeling of the eggs, I got out my egg platter, and I will, I'm sure, have more eggs than what's gonna, I have slots in the platter, so those are for Miss. So I got a plate to put the extras on. And what else did I do? Oh, got out the mayonnaise. Oh, sorry. A little bit of mustard. I need to get that out too. Just a little bit. We'll use Dijon because it's what I just put my hands on, and that's good enough. And I need a little cutting board. And maybe a teaspoon, possibly a teaspoon. Okay. So I'll just show you up close the eggs, what I was talking about, how they kind of get marbly looking. And they did peel much easier than last time. So when these are on the platter, they'll kind of be pretty. And then use whatever you want. I'm a little extra. I know it. My friends know it. And I love all the kitchen stuff. So, and as I said earlier, I'm a Pampered Chef fiend. So I have these slicers from Pampered Chef. This one, as you can see, is curved and it's serrated. So let's see if we can't see up close. There you go. So when you cut into something, it'll give that wavy texture. This one is rounded. I also have one that is flat. And they are sharp, so, and they come with guards, and I suggest using them. And it just is another little pretty, that's all. So I'm just gonna slice them in half lengthwise. I know it is a thing. All right, Miss, my sister, and her steamed eggs. Look how perfect that is. That yellow is just beautiful. I'm going to whip my centers, or whip my yolks. So I am putting them into the mixing bowl for that reason. And then I have a little cake decorating thing that I will fill and use that to fill the eggs back up with. And you know, I got the spoon out so I didn't have to use my fingers. I'm just so used to doing it one way, but that does come out a lot easier. And I don't want pink and pink, so I'm going to have to kind of separate these guys. Yeah, it's the details for me. Nobody else is going to notice. I'm sure nobody would notice that there are two pink eggs next to one another. Oh my God, what is she doing? No, it's just a me thing. What is she thinking? Trust me, trust and believe. I know it's a me thing. Which is why most people are just fine with me going ahead and doing whatever, because they can't be bothered with all of that. And if that's the way I want it, then girl, you do it yourself, and that's fine too. It's just like at the studio. Now, when it comes to the studio and things like that, I mean, if you have small spaces, you know that things fit a certain way. So like at the studio, the blankets need to be folded a certain way so they all fit on the shelves that they're there, that I have available for them. And people, like after restoratives and stuff, will want to fold their blankets and put it away because they want to be helpful. And they're not folding them the way that they fit properly, so I'm like, I'll get it. And I always tell them, it's my OCD. Nobody else's. I'll take care of it. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting those and emptying them, and then I'll come back to you and we'll do the filling. All right, real quick, everything was smelling really good, so I checked the oven and the crescent rolls are done. They came out perfect. So I took them out of the oven. I'm gonna let them cool. I'm gonna get my bread basket out, throw them in the bread basket. I moved the cookies into the middle rack. They're doing fine, and we'll be right back. Okay, so the bread basket. I have this very pretty pink towel, so we're going to use that to line the bread basket with, like this, like so. And then, no, the eggs aren't done because I didn't want to burn the breads. Then I have this bread cloth that my mother made, and I have a bunch of them. So this one, you can see, says Happy Easter, has a little bunny. So she did that counted cross stitch on several different bread cloths for me. So I have them for most holidays. And I'll put that inside so it will look like that. And you can use napkins. Like I have all those cloth napkins. Usually I do cloth napkins, but I wanted this pink. And I know that this is not going to wrap all the way around, so I'm just changing it so that the seam sides are down. I told you it's a me thing. Nobody's going to notice. I'm well aware of that the dish towel seams are up and not down. But again, that's me. And then I'll put this on here so that the Happy Easter shows out. So that's our bread basket. And then I'll take these and pop these in the basket. They're nice and fluffy. They came out really good. Sometimes they're a little bit flatter than others. These came out really puffy. And I think that's because these are the grands and not just the regular ones, the original. And I think they have an extra butter too. I didn't do that. Crescent rolls have enough butter in them. Crazy amount. I really was hot one year to make them from scratch. So I started watching videos and I found out how involved they are. And I mean, they take days to make. I'm like, no, thanks. I'll just keep buying them. Let somebody else make them and appreciate it all the more now that I know exactly what goes into making them. All right, perfection. And I'm just going to take another dish towel, clean dish towels. Got them. Well, kind of clean now. But love this. Look at that. I know. I love these things. So pretty. The bunny rabbit is embroidered and then the flowers are all painted. And I'm just going to put that on there. It'll be fine. And I'm going to put it over here on the other side of the buffet. It'll come down on that end. All right, and we're back. And I'll get back to the eggs, but I just wanted to pop on and show you the progress made with that. These are perfectly fine. I'm going to let them kind of dry out or we'll use them again. But I'm going to go ahead and stack these cookie sheets. It's a little bit of oil on the pan. And just let them be out of the way. So that way I have my kitchen counter. I'll get back to my eggs and I'll come back to you. Okay, this is craziness. I'm a one-man show here, one-woman show. And I keep having to walk all the way around to make sure everything is set up right. and I didn't want to walk around again. And so I took my step stool and I leaned over the counter in order to get the video going again. Because the remote, I think, is dead for this particular thing. Oh well. We're just doing our best here. So I originally had the eggs I was going to do in the stand mixer, but then I remember I really prefer this for that. So this is my food processor. Mine is a KitchenAid. Cuisinart makes one. I know Ninja makes one. There's plenty of them. I've had mine for eons. I mean, probably 20 years, which sounds crazy. I'm going to use the bigger part. There's stuff in there, so I'm just going to rinse that out. I did take the cookies out of the oven. They did overcook, so it'll be fine. I don't think that the kids are not going to eat them because they're a little bit darker than the sugar cookie should be. And I'm sure they'll taste just fine. Would I have preferred for them to not been overcooked? Yes, of course. Okay, rinsed out. Let me grab our egg yolks. And I'm going to just go ahead and kind of drop them in here. Well, before I do that, I should put the blade on. So this particular KitchenAid comes with this kit. It has all kinds of accoutrements in it. This one is for grating cheese. This one is for slicing, say, potatoes or onions. I mean, you could grate onion in this. This is for grating, I should say. This one is just a wider slice. So that's what this one comes with. I have my mandolin, which I use because I love it. So I normally don't use those features on this, but I could. It has this very sharp blade. Okay, this one would be for, you pop it in here, and anything that maybe is a little bit harder that you want to chop up, maybe you want to do, you have a bigger batch of nuts or garlic, anything that you want to chop up, you can always do this in that. This piece goes here, and then that fits on top of it for the grating. So that's what that piece is all about. For our eggs, we're going to use this one for like the mashed potatoes as well. So you could do mashed potatoes in here. I'm going to go ahead and just pop that in there and then pour our egg yolks into this. And give it a special thanks to Jeffrey, the husband, for listening to his TV through his hearing aids so that we don't have to compete. The neighbor, you might hear some sawing. There's a neighbor across the street and he is making something. I don't know what, but he's making something. Doing woodworking, because that's a hobby of his. All right, so this is on. This is in. The lid is on. This will not work. There are all kinds of safety features on this. Like right now I just pushed it on. Obviously nothing is happening. All right, the safety features, this has to lock in here. Also, if this whole thing is out, it's not going to go. So again, I can push on, not happening. So if you were going to grate cheese, you're going to have to cut the cheese a little bit smaller. You're not going to put a whole block in here. And there's a certain spot, it even says max on the side of this chute or tube, and you can't fill it beyond that. So now we've got everything on. It's going to go to town. I'm not going to have to do anything to it. And while that's happening, I'll go ahead and just rinse out this bowl, wash it up real quick. I can get that put back. And I'm going to just go in here, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go in with a spatula and just kind of scrape the edges. Make sure that nothing's stuck. And yeah, it's still working. Not everything is completely ground up yet and mushy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. Let it do its thing. This is a smaller bowl. I use this one more frequently. When I'm doing larger amounts of stuff, I'll put it in there. But this one I'll put half an onion in here, dices it up in there times. And we're going to check on this again. There's still a couple bits in there that have not gotten mushed up, but this is really coming out super fine. Even without me putting any mayonnaise or anything in this, it's already looking like a paste. Like, you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab the mayonnaise because we're going to mix everything right in there. Nice. Okay. That looks great. Now, before we start filling the comments with that's not how you make deviled eggs, everybody makes deviled eggs. There are as many ways to make your deviled eggs as there are people that bake them. So this is how I make them, right? So I'm going to get a different spatula here. I couldn't use the gimbal. Maybe I could have since I was on the stool anyway. Anyway, I couldn't use the gimbal because, again, like in that previous video, I've got to go beyond this wall where the refrigerator is, and it won't track me. It loses me and it won't find me on this side. So that's why when I step out of camera shot, you're not seeing me this time as I move. Okay, that one is done. We're going to see where we're at. If we need to add more, I think we will, but let's just see where we're at. It's nice because it's just like with the mixer, it picks it up along the edge of the bowl too. Turn that off. Use the smaller spatula. So yes, I do want to put some more mayo in there. I'm going to put a little Dijon in there as well. Now the reason that I decided to use this instead of whisking it with the stand mixer is because I would probably lose a lot more of my filling in the whisk. Wouldn't be able to clear it out. This, you can see I can scrape the edges of this bowl and get everything. And I don't know what it is. I don't know about you, but when I make deviled eggs, it's as if I don't have enough filling for all the eggs. So I usually have one, maybe two halves, like a whole egg that I don't have filling for. So this way I can get as much as I can out of it. So we're gonna put some more mayo in there. If you don't like mayonnaise, you're probably going, ugh. And I'm not a big mayonnaise lover myself, but let's see. We had this at the barbecue yesterday, so there's little flecks of whatever was on the fork. I'm gonna just fish that out of here because I don't want those barbecue flecks in my eggs. All right. Good. Just rinse that down the sink. All right, back at it. That should do us. So this will be more of a whipped instead of a mashed kind of thing. And As always, I cook with my heart. So are we measuring this? No, we're not measuring this. Does it look good? Does it smell good? Does it feel right? That's how we're going about this life. Just want to shake because you know the things sit, the water will separate with mustard. So I want to go ahead and just make sure it was mixed up. All right, that's good. And normally what I do when I make my deviled eggs is, you know, the garlic has oil in it. And I will use some of the oil from the garlic so a little garlic oil basically in my deviled egg. I don't have any garlic, but I do have these habanero garlic pieces. So I'm going to take some of the oil from that. Not much. And I know it looks like I'm doing a lot, but look how tiny that spoon is. And it's not being filled. Okay. We will taste and make sure that we have, well, if we've overdone it, we've overdone it. That's all there is to that. But if we need to add more, we can. You can always add, you can't take away. Let that do its thing. Clean this up a bit. By the time you see this, Easter's going to be over because I am not going to be able to do all of this and entertain tonight and edit this and get it posted. So you'll see this in a day, maybe two. All right. Oh, this is looking lovely. Okay. Take a little taste. Okay. I'm very garlicky. And I don't want to do any raw garlic in there because I don't want it to really bite you back. But I will put some salt and pepper in there. So we're going to use the kosher salt. And some fine black pepper. And the obligatory paprika will be sprinkled on top. This is my little half spatch. Half spatula. I like this better for this particular task. Okay, this needs to mix some more. Probably watching you taste this. Well, that's why you don't have enough to fill your eggs with, because you keep tasting it. How are you gonna know? I know I've talked about her before, but one of the ladies that I follow on YouTube, her handle, I guess they call them, or her channel name is Applesauce and ADHD. Don't know why. But one of the things she always says, after you touch raw meat, after you do this, whatever it is, wash your fucking hands. She'll go to the sink and wash her hands. So now anytime I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing something, I hear her voice going, wash your fucking hands. And so I make sure. You know, she got it across. All right. This is great. You see that? It's all whipped in there. I like it to be a little airier. That's okay. Tastes okay. we're good. All right, so I'm going to move all of this back to the counter, move you back to the counter with me, and then we're going to fill that little cake decorator and fill the eggs. So I just wanted to pop on here and just show you PR. I'm going to just take this down. Is she in film? Just waiting, hoping, puppy praying for me to drop food, I'm sure, so that she can get onto that. So I hope that wasn't too jarring for you. And I need to get into the camera now and see where it is that we're at. Let's see if it'll catch me. And gimbal doesn't want to work. I would like technology to just work. That's all. That's all I want. I think it's got me now. Yep. Okay. I'm going to fold this footstool back up because I don't want to hurt myself. Again, I'll put these habanero garlic hot cloves back in the fridge. I'm going to move these out of my way, our ham. Ooh. Yeah, that made a noise. And got that. Gonna pop that in the sink. I like things to be somewhat organized. Probably could have done this off camera, but you know, you're getting real life here. There's nothing AI generated. Okay, pop this back in here. So I have gone through two. This is my second one. So I've gone through one. This is my second one. This one's called a mechanical pastry bag. This one I got at Williams-Sonoma. The first one I had was Pampered Chef. I just used it so much it just didn't work anymore. So I got this one at Williams-Sonoma. Let's see. I knew I was going to open it upside down. That's okay. So you could use a plastic bag and just cut an end in the tip of the plastic bag. You most certainly can. Every time I do that, I make one hell of a mess that I just don't understand how everybody that I watch does it, and it's so perfect, and mine is just such a disaster. Simply is. That's all we got to say. This comes with all kinds of tips because it's for cake decorating. I am not going to use any of these fine tips because this is too thick to go through them. I will use these bigger tips. And I think I'm going to use this one so you can kind of see kind of a star shape, but a really big one. And we set it up. This is for the smaller tips. This is for the larger tips. That's kind of yucky looking. Let's just wipe that down. Okay. And that's on. And then you put the tip on. And then we take this piece and put that on. Now, take that off. And we're going to fill the tube. Filling the tube can be a little bit messy. I try to keep everything as neat as possible because I just am not a messy girl. I do not like messes. I'm sure you figured that out when I said PR had to have a bath. Like I didn't even want her in the house last night, but I didn't have time to bathe her last night either, so everything got washed. Speaking of wash, I've got to get into that dryer because her blankets are in there. I need to get that put back together. So I'm just going to do a few of these with you, and then I'll go off camera and finish them because it's not so terribly exciting to watch. All right, this tube, this particular style has this clear tube so you can see how far down your whatever is. If you're doing frosting, in this case, it's going to be the egg yolk. I'm gonna pop that in there. And I just take this piece, it goes on top. This is a pusher, it's gonna push down. And it just twists on. And we're gonna just push it, push it, push it until we see the stuff's coming out the tip. And then we're gonna go ahead and come on down here and just pop it in there, fill it. And you can see what pretty deviled eggs they make. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to refill that. I'm going to do the rest of them, but you can see how pretty they look. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back to you when we move on to the next thing. All right, deviled eggs are done. And of course they have been tasted. So I'm going to get those in the fridge. And I'm going to put the ham in pans and get them ready to go in the oven. It is now 12:40. Got about 3 hours before people come, and I still have to get the vegetables going and the chocolate cake decorated and. So, running out of time. I need to get a shower and I want to get changed. So, we'll check back in. Alrighty, back. I take one of the racks out of the oven because I need to get these ham in the oven. Now this one already came pre-done. I did not know that. Normally, I don't mind buying the brown sugar ham, but I normally don't buy them done already because we can't have the sugar. So on this one, I have a very low sugar fig jam, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put that on this ham. Now people, you can do it any way you want, right? The most popular thing I think is the pineapple and cherries. So, and this is just going to really, it's going to melt off the sides. It's going to just kind of sit in the bottom of the pan and then kind of suck back up into the ham. So while it was off camera, got the eggs put in the refrigerator. I did up all the dishes, got all that mess cleaned up, and now I'm dirtying more dishes. Because that's just how we roll when we cook. Now these are going to get covered. I will cover them with foil and pop them in the oven. Now these hams are fully cooked. In theory, you can go ahead and just start peeling away the slices right now and eat them that way. I always heat it in the oven. And I got our foil over here. Oh, it's so heavy. And my back started bothering me, so Jeff, while we were off camera, Jeff took his massage gun and did that on my back for me. So hopefully that will get me through at least part of the rest of this meal. I want to just create a really nice seal in here, crimp it a little bit. Ham is so easy to do. You know, it's all easy to do, honestly. It's just time consuming. One in. Let's get the other one wrapped. I don't have to do anything with this. It was already done. Like I said, normally I wouldn't have bought it like that. I wasn't paying attention, obviously. That'll work. This is a really tall one too. We have 20 pounds of ham. And I've got chicken that I've got to work on yet. So, okay, that's sealed in there nicely. Pop this one in the oven. Wish I could put my other rack in there. This is where I need 2 ovens. I always need a double oven. So, redesign this kitchen. I got to get a double oven in here somewhere. I say that now, but for how much longer am I going to be cooking like this? I have no idea. I will do it until I cannot anymore. It's the way I looked at high heels. Oh my gosh, how can you wear those? You know, how long are you going to wear those for? Until I can't anymore. All right, ham's in the oven. Eggs are done. Let's take a look at our list. See what else we can cross off of this list. All right, nice clean counter. Alrighty. Ham's in the oven. Deviled eggs are done. Cookies are done. Let's get the veg up. We can at least get them in the pots. We don't have to do anything crazy. But I can cook them. I have a warmer I can put them in once they're cooked. So we will go ahead and cook them. I'm going to get all the pots and pans out. I'm going to grab the veg and clear the stove. And then I'm going to get right back with you. All right, I'm back. I grabbed something just to have a little snack. So I have a piece of provolone cheese and 3 pieces of turkey pepperoni. Haven't eaten anything all day. So I put something in me. And why turkey pepperoni instead of regular? My sister doesn't like pork, so I bought them for her for when I was making pizza. Not a big difference. Although my husband will tell you, oh my God, huge difference. All right, frozen broccoli, because it's what we can afford. And these are some big pieces, mostly stems. So what brand was that? Make a note. Signature Select. This says broccoli spears. I'm going to cut those. I'm going to have to cut those down. These are florets. Let me cut these down before. PR knows I'm eating something, so she's right here hoping that she's going to get something, and I'm going to give her something. Jeff talked to her trainer back in Florida the other day. They were just doing a check-in, and they told him to cut back on her kibble and give her raw carrots and green beans. So she will grudgingly take a carrot if that's all she's going to get. Cooked she likes a lot. These are still frozen, so I want to cut them now so that I don't have to try and fish them out when everything's cooked. Now, I was also going to do corn, which I'm still going to do corn, but I'd asked Jeff to get frozen corn. He bought me corn on the cob. It's not a corn on the cob kind of meal, so I'm not really going to use them. I could have tried to, I could have tried to shave the kernels off of the cob, but they are frozen, not fresh. So I'm not going to be able to make that happen. And then once they're cooked, it's going to be probably too mushy. Fresh corn on the cob you can handle different. I can always get them off because it's a little bit firmer. So we're just going to have the one small bag of corn. I'll have the broccoli, and I've got the tricolored carrots that we're going to roast. I'm going to kind of coat them in olive oil. I say coat them, I mean just drizzle olive oil on them. And then pop them in the oven to roast. They were a major hit the last time I made them like that. All right, that's done. That's done. Now instead of water, using the chicken broth, because the chicken broth is going to impart flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and put the butter in there as well while it cooks. So you know this is my homemade chicken broth, which our chicken stock. Just going to pour that in there for the liquid. That'll be good. And get some butter in here. Perfect. And we're going to just put that on the stove. I'm going to move these around. Because burner size is important. Oh, I always turn the wrong one on, so I really need to focus. All right, that's there. I'll use the rest of that in the corn. I don't need such a big pan for the corn. There's not that much of it. Same thing for the corn. We're going to do a little chicken stock and butter. I'll salt it later. And the broccoli, once it's cooked, I'm going to add garlic to that. All right, that's done. That's going there. And I just put those cookie sheets away thinking I wasn't going to use them. And you know what? I need them for my carrots. And that's okay. I will dig those back out. Got that corn going. Oh, the pepperoni was in here. Let me just grab a couple more slices of that. 3 slices of that. One for now. So that's what I've had to eat so far all day. Other than the tasting of the banana cream pie. I don't consider that a meal. Put that away. We'll grab out all these carrots. Is 5 going to be enough? Should I add the orange to them? I can put PR's carrots away now. She got one. She might not have been happy about it, but she got a snack, and that's important. It's just not fair when you see somebody else snacking and you can't. I understand. Totally get it. All right. I'm going to grab a bowl so that we can toss probably hear Jeff. He stepped outside. Neighbor is painting his mailboxes across the street. And Jeff stepped outside. So instead of actually walking across the street and talking to him, they're going to yell back and forth at one another. You can take the man out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the man. And would we want him any other way? It is who he is, and that's okay. All right. So we're here with our carrots. Should I add the orange? You know, I want to make sure I have enough vegetable. And then anything left over, PR can eat. So we can put that in her food. So I will go ahead and put these in there. Or I can throw them into my next chicken stock bag. So. There we go. Pretty carrots. Love pretty carrots. I'm gonna do olive oil. And we're gonna do kosher salt. And maybe a little pepper. And I'm gonna grab that cookie sheet. It gets really noisy, so I'll turn you off and bring you right back. All right, got the trays out, covered them with foil. If my back weren't bothering me, I probably wouldn't care. My back's bothering me. So I want to make cleanup as easy as possible for myself. So I'm going to take our olive oil, I'm going to drizzle. While you were off camera, one of the other neighbors, which is 3 houses down that way, evidently came out because I heard my husband yell, "Hello, Michelle!" Oh my God. All right, so we just wanted to give these a nice light coating. Take our kosher salt. Do that, that's fine. A little bit of pepper. Just a little bit of pepper. All right. And a little bit of garlic powder. Because we love garlic around here. If you don't love garlic, don't put garlic in it. I did 2 trays with foil because I just believe that I'm gonna need 2. Because I don't want the carrots to be piled on top of one another, not for roasting. Because you want them to get just a little bit of a crisp. All right. Been thinking about the pool when it's finished, how we're going to handle everything. So I think we're going to have multiple pool opening parties. Move that onto the counter so it doesn't flop down onto the floor. And then I'm left having to wash all these carrots. And the carrots came pre-washed, so I'm not killing us, don't worry. My husband bought organic. I don't know if they don't make, I mean, normally we don't buy organic, just, it's much more costly. Yes, it's going to be better for you. I know that we have a bunch of organics only people out there. But look, you get what you can afford. So I don't know if they just didn't have the carrots in just the regular non-organics. Okay. See, I've got them just single layered on the tray. And then all I'm going to need to do is kind of shake the trays to kind of turn them as they go. I do have that bottom rack. I'm going to go ahead and put one in now. Let them start to do their magic. The other one I'm going to set aside. And the vegetables are doing just fine. So that's great. Okay, so now we've got the veg up. We're going along. So we put the corn, the carrots, and the broccoli. I'm going to grab the chicken. Can't really cook that yet, but I can grab it and start prepping it. That's not a problem. And we're just going to kind of wing it. I really didn't have a plan for it, but when I was looking through the pantry, I saw that I had some ranch seasoning. So I think we're going to ranch season that chicken and pop that in the oven. And that's how we're going to do that. I'll put this away. Sometimes, you just got to make do. And that's my logo. If you don't know, Rose's Poses, yoga and wellness, eating well, part of wellness. That whole mental aspect, part of wellness. I have a friend whose mom is in the hospital, and it always happens, right? One thing leads to another, and she had some abdominal issues, found that she needed to have her appendix removed, got her appendix removed, but they did notice on one of the scans they did, it looked like there was, can't remember what they called it, but they noticed like a lump, and lump is not the right word, and I can't think of the right word right now. But they saw that and they're like, well, we'll keep an eye on it. Well, it turns out what they were keeping an eye on, you would think that while they were in there doing the surgery to remove the appendix, but then probably not thinking about it because your appendix is in a different spot than where they found that little lump. And but if they weren't in the same area, then they wouldn't have noticed it. And she just wasn't healing. She wasn't feeling well. She was really weak. My friend happens to be a nurse, so she's like taking her blood pressure and all this, and everything was coming okay. Like her blood pressure was good. She didn't have temperature. But she said she just knew, like her mom wasn't right. So she texted the doctor, and the doctor's like, get her in here, let's take a look. They ran some stat blood work, found that her white blood cells were elevated, and she had an infection. Well, it turns out that little lump, and again, I'm using the wrong term, was an abscess. And the abscess probably caused from the appendix, they feel now after the fact. She ended up with E. coli and strep. Strep? I think that's what she said. So they drained the abscess, and they have got her on IV antibiotics, and she's going to go home with a PICC line. But she's in the hospital, and she doesn't want to be in the hospital. And it's really just kind of reminding everybody about how we're not indestructible. So she's kind of going through that. And she does not want to take on the responsibility of the whole family like her mother does. But our mom is doing great, and she is doing amazing, taking care of everything. And she has 2 grown children that are really just jumping in and helping out. And her mom happens to be an accountant, so it's tax season, and her stepdad is, stepping in and taking on all that. So it's a lot. We're all going through a lot, and it's okay to talk to somebody about that. It's okay to vent. And sometimes people feel really guilty about talking about the troubles they're experiencing because we've got so much going on in this world right now, and they feel like it's inconsequential compared to everything else that's going on, except that everything starts right here inside of us, and we need to address those things that are happening inside of us, because it's going to make handling what's going on outside of us in the greater world a little bit easier. So there you go. We didn't get to have our morning walk and check in. So there we are. Kind of slipped it in there. All right, back to our cooking. What was I going to do? I'm going to grab the chicken, see what that's all about, and see if we can start working with that. And then I think we're going to go ahead and get the cake out and start to play around with that cake. It's going to be fun. You're going to love it. See you soon. Okay, back. Chicken's ready for us to work with. And I decided as I was walking that what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to kind of cube the chicken, and we're going to toss it in some olive oil and the ranch, and then we'll air fry that. So, is that a traditional Easter thing? No. But for the people that don't eat the ham, they're probably going to love it. They'll just appreciate the fact that I am offering them something else. Because I know not everybody likes pork. My sister is that girl. And she's not the only one in the world. So, all good. I'm just going to do up these dishes and get them into the clean side of the sink, and we're going to rinse this chicken. Cold water. Yep, that's just going to swap out. There we go. Check my ring, make sure my limitless ring. Okay, oh, let me show you. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on. But I put the blue stone in the ring because I'm going to wear a blue and white dress tonight. Hopefully, I get a shower and change. But we're doing okay. It's almost 2. I think we're doing okay. We'll have quite a bit of chicken. It's not going to go to waste because what we don't use, if people want to take some leftovers home, they most certainly can. If not, then we'll have a chicken and rice dish one night for dinner during the week. And he'll hopefully have some extra ham. You never know, it depends on how many people actually show up. I just try and make sure I have enough for everybody. Oh. Alrighty. That's done. Chicken is rinsed. And we're going to dice it up. Just into cubes. Not too big, not too small. I mean, if they wanted to, they could pick it up with their fingers. But I have plenty of silverware, so we don't have to go that route. Anyway, I think we have a baby coming, so I don't think the baby's a fussy eater, but chicken's pretty universal too. We think we're going to have about 8 kids, and Jeff asked me if I had any of the plastic eggs that you can fill, and he has put some dollar bills in the eggs, and he's going to put them in the backyard away from the pool because we don't want anybody near that big hole in the wall, especially hole in the ground rather, especially kids, because we don't want them falling in. And again, especially because we now have the rebar in there. So one thing just to fall into the dirt and rock. It's another thing with that metal in there. All right. So there's a lot of chicken here for me to cut up. Not going to be terribly exciting for you to watch. I will dice this up and then I'm going to get back to you. All right? See you in a few. Okay, back. What did I do while I was gone? Got the vegetables off the stove and put them in their warmers, and I just don't have enough corn, so I'm going to have to use those corn on the cobs. So I put those up to boil, checked on the carrots in the oven. They're not done yet. And what else did I do? Rolled out the heating mat for the potatoes, and I did have to lie down. My back is really being fussy. And sitting doesn't help it, so that's not even it. And believe me, I have a gel mat. I have a decent gel mat that I stand on when I'm in the kitchen a lot. I have tried every shoe except a Birkenstock. I have Hokas. I have different tennis shoes, Crocs, you name it. And tennis shoes, flip-flops, different flip-flops even. Nothing is, I don't know what it is. It's just really annoying and gets to be quite painful. So I did lie down, and I put some pillows under my back so I could kind of arch my back, thinking maybe I spend too much time forward. Who knows? I can't let it stop me because I got too much to do. So, got our Pillsbury. I should be sponsored by Pillsbury. Let me just go ahead and put that out to them, because especially today's video. This is a Pillsbury Zero Sugar Frosting. And the cake mix that I started with also is the Pillsbury Zero Sugar Cake Mix. I, of course, don't leave anything as it is out of the box. You know, the recipe will call for water, oil, and eggs, and I used a banana in this cake. I also used some applesauce in this cake. A little bit of oil because the banana and the applesauce are kind of a sub for the oil. I did use the eggs, and you can put an extra egg in. I did not. And I did put some sour cream in there because chocolate cake with sour cream in it gives a little tang. And then I coated the pans, because when I sprayed the pans with the oil, I then took cocoa powder and coated the pans. I always mean to, and never remember to, just put a little bit of the cake mix aside and coat with the cake mix. That's ideal. I don't like to have to use the flour because the flour it leaves that white cast. And on this particular cake, because it needs to look like a chocolate bunny, I wanted it to be as dark brown as possible. So I used the cocoa powder. I am going to grab a spatula and we're going to put this 3D cake together. I have a thought and an idea. I want the grass on the bottom of my cake plate. I want to use this cake plate because it's green, and that would be pretty green with the purple grass and the brown bunny. However, it is also very small. This is it's as wide as from my thumb to my index finger, so it's not a very big base. And that's glass. This one's plastic, much bigger, obviously. You see the difference in size. Kind of crazy. But that is what I'd like to use. I don't think I'm going to, though. I also have to grab the peeps because I got peeps to put around the cake. And we're not going to do any color on the cake for two reasons. One, I don't have any sugar-free white frosting, and the way my back feels, I'm not all about making the frosting right now. I most certainly could. I have some sugar-free powdered sugar, and I could do that, but I'm not feeling it. I need to get this done and make sure I take care of myself so that I'm not going to be down completely when my company makes it here. So let me grab the rest of the stuff. I thought I had it all together. Obviously I don't, and I'll be right back to you. I'm going to start by putting some grass on the bottom of the platter. It's paper, even if somebody did eat it because they didn't see this purple on this dark chocolate. Oh, bunny down, bunny down. We can make a little nest for our bunny to sit in. Just an idea I came up with. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we're gonna do the other half. His ear on this half is feeling a little wonky. Might use some frosting to keep it in place if that works. Dun, 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 dun. So I've got some good flat sides here. I'm gonna take a little bit of frosting and just spread. I really wanted this to be frozen. I did not, there goes his ear. Did not have any room in my freezer. So it's gonna be a little more of a challenge to work with, but that's okay. And I'm gonna just go ahead and maybe do a couple of toothpicks, just in case. So the frosting can act like a glue, and I don't want to lay them down flat. Just going to, boom, there they are. And I'll take frosting and just kind of go through the center to help kind of fill in that line. Aww. Aww, there's our bunny. If it were frozen, I might play around with trying to shave a little bit off, but again, not frozen. And I am a mess, so I'm going to just wash my hands. And this is going to try and follow me. And I'm back, and it'll follow me again. All right. So, Bunny is together, sitting in his purple grass. And we're just gonna go ahead and take this chocolate frosting, kind of fill in between. Where the halves meet. I think when I did this last year, I did have some white frosting, and I did a little bit of pink in his ears and blue in his eye. Again, don't have it, not gonna bother making it. Not feeling that kind of good right now. And I'm just gonna try and save myself as best I can. He's cute. I got the mold for this cake at Dillard's, end of spring season last year. I did pop into Dillard's this year to see what they had. Nothing that wound me up, so I don't feel the need to haunt it afterwards. I really would love for this to just mush in there together. I'd love to give him a pink nose, but just can't. Cannot do it. So it's going to be a very simple, very plain little chocolate cake. And we've got the banana cream cake, and the cookies got overdone. I thought I was going to be okay to give them to the kids. I don't know. I don't think I want to even present them. And really, I think this is the universe telling me that those cookies were just not meant to be on my Easter table, because, funny thing, we bought the cookie dough, and I had put all the groceries in the back of my car, taken all the groceries out of my car, so I thought. I did not take that out of my car, and found them the next day. It was Sunday that we went to the commissary, and the next day, Monday, when I was putting my traveling yoga stuff in the car, I found the bag with cookie dough in there. Needless to say, that went in the garbage. And when I went back to the commissary, I picked up another one. And now I overcooked them. So I think that that is just the universe's way of telling me, don't you put those cookies on your table. Okay. Super simple, not so fantastic, but it is a dessert. Got our little guy. I just can't. My back is bothering me a lot. So I just cannot. We're going to count on the peeps adding the color. Maybe I can get these open. Ta-da. Chirp, 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 chirp. No, they're not sugar-free. My friend Lauren, one year, found me sugar-free peeps, and I kept them for a long time. As a matter of fact, I think so Lauren, if you're watching this, how long ago was it that you had found those sugar-free peeps for me? Because I just threw them away. I was going to eat them, and they were hard as a rock. And I do like hard marshmallows, but I mean, these were hard as a rock. So, oh. And I know that this is nothing spectacular, but there's our little chocolate bunny cake. And that's just how he's going to have to stay, because I cannot, with my back fussing the way it is, do hardly much more. And I still have main parts of the dinner to get done. I still have to do the chicken. I have to get the other, I think I'm going to take the ham out. It's probably warmed through, so I can get the chicken in there and get the chicken cooking. All right, so I'm going to adjust you so that you get a better view, and I'll be back to you. Alrighty, my back is bad. People are starting to show up. I pretty much have everything done, I think. I'll just flip you around, show you some stuff that I did, and I'm going to stand under a hot shower and change. That way I'll be ready when everybody gets here. So here we are. Created a little photo op. I flipped our big old peep around and then hung some pastel balloons. And got the candy dishes on the table. And then the buffet set up. So we have little bunny napkins in that holder. And then this will have the scalloped potatoes on it, the white platter for the ham. The veg is already in those warmers, which this is really a great thing if you entertain. Really worth it. You can. Okay, so evidently the microphone died, which is why we go ahead and edit things. So I was telling you that that particular warmer is really worth it because it acts almost like a crock pot type of thing where you can turn it on and you can adjust the heat and it'll keep everything going. So what else I'm saying in here, I don't recall, but the cake was done. Everything came out well. Everybody had a good time. We did set up the kids' table. I had moved that little piece of Easter sculpture from the buffet onto that table. Like I said, we set up the kids' table. and everything was all ready to go. So that was good. The chicken came out well. Got that going, put that second pan in, and I was then basically signing off to just go and get a shower.